In the midst of the chaos that had engulfed the world of the live-action TV show version of The Walking Dead, a new force had appeared in the form of Rick Grimes wielding a glowing purple axe. The axe pulsated with a power that seemed to be otherworldly, radiating waves of energy that corrupted the minds of the flying insects that were approaching him. U003CBR, U003E, U003CBR, U003E. As the group of bees, wasps, and hornets descended upon Rick, aiming to sting him with their painful venom, he swung his axe with a swift motion. The energy waves emitted from the axe enveloped three of the insects, twisting their thoughts and turning them against each other. The corrupted insects began to battle fiercely, their glowing purple eyes fixed on each other as they endlessly clashed, each blow generating shockwaves that rippled outwards. U003CBR, U003E, U003CBR, U003E. Meanwhile, the walkers closed in on Rick, their moans echoing through the air as they hungered for flesh. With each swing of his axe, Rick emitted powerful waves of purple energy that blew the undead creatures back, buying him time to focus on the dual battles before him. U003CBR, U003E, U003CBR, U003F. Three corrupted insects continued to fight with an intensity that seemed to have no end, the shockwaves they generated growing in power with each release. Their clashes sent tremors through the ground, shaking the very foundation of the world they inhabited. As they battled on, their struggle spread beyond their immediate vicinity, affecting the entire world of The Walking Dead. U003CBR, U003E, U003CBR, U003. Eric found himself caught in the midst of these two eternal conflicts, his axe swinging constantly to keep the walkers at bay while the corrupted insects fought relentlessly against each other. The energy waves they emitted grew stronger and more destructive, causing devastation wherever they touched. The very fabric of reality seemed to warp and twist under the weight of their power, creating a surreal landscape of chaos and destruction. U003CBR, U003E, U003CBR, U003E. Despite the overwhelming odds against him, Rick stood his ground, his determination unwavering. He knew that he had a role to play in this unfolding drama, a destiny that was entwined with the forces of light and darkness that now battled around him. With each swing of his purple axe, he pushed back against the tide of destruction, standing as a beacon of hope in a world consumed by madness. U003CBR, U003E, U003CBR, U003E. As the battles raged on, the lines between reality and fantasy blurred, giving rise to a new era where the fate of the world hung in the balance. Rick Grimes, the unlikely hero wielding a glowing purple axe, stood at the center of it all, a figure of strength and resilience in the face of unimaginable challenges. U003CBR, U003E, U003CBR, U003E. And so, the eternal struggle between the corrupted insects and the walkers continued, their battles shaping the destiny of the world of The Walking Dead in ways that no one could have foreseen. Rick Grimes, the man who had appeared out of thin air wielding a glowing purple axe, would be forever remembered as a legend in the annals of history, his name whispered in awe and reverence by those who survived the chaos that had engulfed their world. In the live-action TV show version of The Walking Dead, everything changed when Rick Grimes suddenly appeared out of thin air, wielding a glowing purple axe. The members of the group were startled, unsure of what had brought Rick back and why he was armed with such a mystical weapon. But before they could even process what was happening, a swarm of flying bees, wasps, and hornets approached, ready to unleash their painful stings upon Rick. U003CBR, U003E, U003CBR, U003E. As the flying insects closed in on him, Rick swung his purple axe with incredible force. Energy waves emitted from the blade, corrupting the minds of three of the flying creatures. These three insects, now under the influence of the axe's power, began to fight each other relentlessly. Their bodies collided and clashed in a never-ending battle, but they continuously regenerated and healed due to the power of their glowing purple eyes. U003CBR, U003E, U003CBR, U003E. Meanwhile, Rick was faced with a horde of walkers, each one hungering for flesh and blood. With his axe in hand, he emitted glowing purple energy waves that blew away the walkers with each swing. The power of the axe was immense, and Rick found himself in a perpetual battle against the undead. U003CBR, U003E, U003CBR, U003E. As the corrupted insects continued to fight each other, their glowing eyes shone brighter with every passing moment. The shockwaves they emitted grew in power, spreading across the world of The Walking Dead. The energy of their conflict seemed to know no bounds, as they endlessly injured each other only to regenerate and continue the cycle of violence. U003CBR, U003E, U003CBR, U003. Eric's own battle against the walkers mirrored the eternal struggle of the insects. His energy waves grew stronger and more powerful, with no limitations to their force. The two showdowns, one between the corrupted insects and the other between Rick and the walkers, seemed to merge into one chaotic symphony of destruction. U003CBR, U003E, U003CBR, U003E. Throughout all of this, the characters of The Walking Dead were deeply affected by these events. Each member of the group had to navigate the ever-changing landscape of their world, where mystical weapons and corrupted creatures reigned supreme. The emotional toll of such constant conflict weighed heavily on them, leading to doubt, fear, and ultimately, a test of their inner strength. U003CBR, U003E, U003CBR, U003E. Despite the fantastical elements at play, the core of the story remained character-driven. Each character faced their own internal struggles, grappling with their own demons while confronting the external threats that surrounded them. The creative blend of fantasy and reality made for a compelling tale of survival, resilience, and the enduring power of the human spirit in the face of insurmountable odds. U003CBR, U003E, U003CBR, U003E. As the eternal battles raged on, the world of The Walking Dead was forever changed. But amidst the chaos and destruction, pockets of hope and resilience remained. The characters, both new and old, stood together in the face of adversity, knowing that as long as they had each other, they could overcome any challenge that came their way. And in the end, it was this unwavering spirit that ultimately prevailed, shining a beacon of light in a world consumed by darkness.